Cole had a song with J. Cole, Mr. Nice Watch. I don't even think Cole wears watches anymore. like, look where his life went.
Listen,
he don't
man.
even look like the same person from
I love
his first
Mr.
album.
Nice Watch. I love that song.
That song is really bad, and I don't want to.
Are you serious?
Mr. Nice Watch is one of the worst records ever.
Ever? Nah, I can't.
Nah, I can't let you get that off.
You can't just say ever.
No, Rory and Mal.
Welcome to another episode of the new Rory and Mal podcast. I am Mal.
I'm Rory.
How you feeling, man?
Good. Two episodes in a row I identify as Rory. We'll see if that changes.
I'm good. I like when you identify as Rory. That's the guy that I've come to know and love. So.
Some episodes I feel more Eddin. Some episodes I feel more Demaris.
Yeah, it just gets a little weird.
Sometimes more Baisley. You never know.
Because you got the dog in you?
I'm just going to ignore that and pretend like it's just you and I here. I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Cool, man. Good weekend. Spent time with the fam.
Okay.
Fam is in town, so spent time with my nephew, my sister. Yeah, that was about it.
I know your sister listens to the podcast, so you're probably going to lie. How long, without bad circumstances, of course, would you allow your sister and your nephew to stay at your house? What's the cutoff day? Like when shit is like when nothing's fucked up. Like
listen. Honestly,
like you got a home.
Yeah. Honestly, man, you know what it is? I realized I really just don't like people in my space.
I agree. As an only child, I can speak to it.
So, and I'm not the only child. That's why it's really weird. But it's like I don't know. I like things in a certain order.
You weren't even in the womb by yourself.
Yeah, like I just like things in the, but maybe that's why. Like maybe it's like, all right, enough of this shit, man. Like I want to be alone. Like
I came into this world
let me experience this life shit alone for a few. I don't know. I'm just used to like just having things a certain way, even if it's messy. It's like organized mess because I know exactly where shit is at, even in the mess. So it's just like when you have people in your space, you got to kind of like, adjust and move around differently. But, that's family. I love them to death. So it's always good seeing them, but it's time to go.
As long as I'm not there with my family with that conversation yet. I like allude to certain shit, but I can never be like, hey, you can leave my house now. Yeah.
You can't say it. You don't want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that dickhead. You don't want to be that guy. And then, life is for us is better now. And first thing that happens is, he's acting funny.
Yeah.
He's changing. He's acting up. The money's changing him. It's like, no, I just want to be alone. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're family forever, but I just like being in my space alone.
And then I got the second bedroom together thinking my mom, because that's what she kept asking for. Like, where's my bedroom type shit.
Their moms always want to know where they sleeping at.
Set it up thinking like, this will be a way where like we won't have to see each other as much when she's here. And I'm like, why does she not go to her room? Like, can we
sending your mom to her room?
Can we roll reverse and be like, hey, go to your room, please? Like, get out of my space.
Go outside, take a walk, get some fresh air. All the things you used to tell me, Mom, when you go outside and do that. Like,
how much local news can you watch in this living room?
Yeah,
my
man.
God.
I mean, I love family, but after about 3 or 4 days, it's time.
And then you become Geek Squad at Best Buy. Nothing ever works.
Yeah. So there's a great documentary out right now, Rory, and we were watching it. Well, you watched it. I only watched the first episode. We was watching the second one. The most hated man
on the internet. I've always felt that I was pretty in tune with the internet since, I don't know, maybe 2006, 2007. I feel like I've kind of known what was going on the internet.
We forget about a lot of things that happen on the internet. Like a lot of things that just happened during the pandemic, we already forgot about, let alone 15 years ago on the internet. So this documentary, what was the gentleman's name?
Hunter Moore, I want to say.
Hunter Moore. So
just like Firefest, which I didn't even know about until it hit the internet with everything blowing up. Shorty that scammed her version of Soho House, I didn't know about until the Netflix doc. This here happened in 2010 when I was full-fledged on the internet, just like J.R. Smith in the DMs.
Yeah.
I had no idea about this, and this dude was on Anderson Cooper giving it up.
I think that this was a part of the internet that I think it was for a very select group of people.
Fucking losers?
Yeah, it was. This was a weird part of because in 2010, Twitter was really big. And that was probably the one thing that all of us were on. I mean, Instagram was around, but Instagram wasn't Instagram yet. It wasn't what it is today. And Twitter was the place to be.
I think this shit hit the fan in 2010. It started earlier, I think in the MySpace days is when this community of fucking weirdos came about. But for those that haven't seen it, this gentleman, well, let me not even say gentleman, this piece of shit, Hunter Moore, started this website for revenge porn where you could upload nude videos, photos of women. You could add their addresses, phone numbers, where their parents lived, and then it just allowed a comment section for everyone to just say really, really nasty things about the naked woman. And I don't think it was actually just women. I think it did move into the dicks as well.
Yeah. Because one of the guys said, back then you have a sidekick. He was like, what do you do with your sidekick? You take pictures of your dick. I was thinking like, whoa. I was, group chat maybe.
I had a flip phone and then I went right to the BlackBerry Curve, I want to say.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
No pun intended. I'd never had the sidekick. So
I never had the sidekick.
I was very late to dick pics.
Yeah, no, I never had the sidekick, but on the BlackBerry, we were not, I don't recall.
We were emailing.
Yeah. BBM. But apparently this was a big thing back then. Revenge porn.
This dude was a super dirtbag. I was watching this shit like, I do see where his crew has influence in the internet now. Like just these fucking super loser kids that get no pussy, that got hurt by a girl once when they were 14, now sit at home and feel empowered by violating people from keyboards.
Right.
Like I see where that spilled over into the world. I think this was probably the beginning of it. But this dude was super dirtbag. Absolute piece of shit. He's still not sorry for what he did. He went to jail and came out and was like, I'd do it all over again. So I don't know. We're making jokes, but this dude was like the epitome of fucking scum.
Yeah, he was.
And a fucking loser for that matter.
Yeah, he was lame. He was lame for this. But it's just amazing the amount of people that will support lame shit. The amount of traffic that he generated to the site.
Well, the internet has allowed, well, let me not just say the internet, but it's definitely increased the amount of attention lame people get. And then the lame people, and by lame, I'm not saying social status or anything. We're talking about losers that fucking leak women's photos and say mean comments under shit about women.
Right.
It's about those lames.
Yeah.
When lames see another person get quote unquote empowered or attention for being a hurt dirtbag, yes, they follow behind him because lames breed other lames and they get together and do more lame shit. So these whole crews on the internet of certain cliques, like I know we make jokes about the fan bases of artists and shit, but there is crews on the internet that just do all this nasty fucking loser shit. And they all feel like it's okay because they're all doing it together and they feel like they're empowered because they can say things from a keyboard.
Boo.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of the internet.
With no consequence because they don't have to come outside.
It's just weird, like you said, they end up on Anderson Cooper. All of these, different platforms to talk about the internet that they created, but it's like this person created an internet, strictly aimed at embarrassing people and putting private photos out there because they were hacking emails or they were hacking phones or whatever they were doing and stealing these photos and putting them up on a website. It's just a fucked up thing, but this shows you, the audience that's out there waiting for this type of shit. And he was hosting parties, people were showing up, girls were showing up. So on one hand, you have people that are like, oh, this is fucked up. This is, this is wrong. And then on the other hand, you have a line wrapped around Webster Hall to get inside and party with this guy. So,
well, it was interesting. I think maybe on like the third episode, I forgot who was talking. He was one of the FBI agents. Somebody was suggesting that one of the people from, I think they called themselves the family or something on some Charles Manson shit. One of the people in the family had said once it was over, they didn't know what to do because they were young. And they created their personality based off this internet bullying shit. And we've had that internet bullying conversation and say it doesn't exist. To me, this is internet bullying. It does exist. They created their entire personality based off this. So once they couldn't do it anymore, they didn't know who they were. And that's what these fucking lonely 12, 13, 14-year-olds are doing. And they do it for 5 years and then they become adults. And it's like, wait, my personality is based off of saying mean things to people online to make myself feel better about how shitty I feel about myself.
Yeah.
And then
with
now
no
you're an adult.
worth.
And now you have to go make something of yourself. It's like, oh, I don't have a personality. My personality is being mean to someone from a keyboard.
And someone will actually punch you in person.
It's just interesting to see how far the internet has come since this.
Yeah.
Like when you look at sites like OnlyFans and things like that now, like now you get paid for posting your nudes, you get paid for posting videos and things like that. So was Hunter Moore an asshole, or was he
Yes.
ahead of his time?
Because people on
A lot
OnlyFans
of people
shoot content for OnlyFans and get paid for it off
Yeah.
their consent. He was hacking people's emails that were
grabbing.
some of them weren't even
exclusive
sending
stuff.
these photos to their significant others.
yeah,
Some
they
were
were
just
just in their email.
some women just were taking photos of their naked body, which they're allowed to fucking
Yeah,
do,
of course.
and not have it leaked. And
Agreed.
just doing that. And it was then empowering people that also were hurt fucking losers like Hunter Moore to then take photos of their exes and be like, haha, now your naked body's on the internet. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay. Now what?
Yeah, weird times. But check out the documentary if you haven't. Most Hated Man on the Internet on Netflix now.
We did learn something. You and I were talking, and we can get off this soon. We did learn something off this doc, though.
Yeah, very informative.
Starchasers.
Starchasers. We've been calling. See, the thing is, you have to compartmentalize people and give people the right titles. And we've been calling. We've been calling them groupies.
Hoes.
We've been calling them hoes. We've been calling them escorts.
I like that one.
A lot of names.
Well, one of the mothers of one of the victims of this made it her business to find Hunter Moore and did a great job. Shout out to that woman. But they got a little bit into her past, and like she had done interviews as well on talk shows, and she
she's
was
one of
labeled
those.
as a star chaser.
Star Chaser.
Where she suggested that she would just go to parties and try to get into VIP sections with stars, and was usually denied, but said there's always a way. I always get past the velvet ropes.
Yeah.
So Maul and I were saying we did not know that there was a term, and because words are very important now and titles of what people want to be called
Right.
are important, I can no longer use the word hoe. I'm retiring it the same way I've said
Can't
language
use-
before that I
can't
didn't fully
use
understand.
Groupie. We can't use groupie. We
Is
can't
groupie
use
that
hoe.
bad still?
You are a star chaser.
You're a Star Chaser. It's kind of like Meek with
Damn.
the Dream Chasers. It's the Star Chasers and the
can't
Dream
co-
Chasers.
Sorry.
I've seen a lot of star chasers for the Dream
For the
Chasers.
Dream Chasers.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of Star Chasers that were hanging out with the Dream Chasers. I get it. I understand. You keep everything in constellation. I
One to
understand.
chase.
Yeah.
And some of them are shooting stars. That just,
Absolutely.
Shooting stars.
This was a good documentary though, so check it out when you get a chance. I mean, it's a fucked up situation, a fucked up story, but the documentary was very informative. We all lived in through 2010 that time, and I never really knew that this was a thing. But good documentary on Netflix. Check it out.
I used to be in Webster Hall around that time. I'm glad I didn't go to those weird nights where you'd look at the flyers and be like, "Who is going tonight?" It was these fucking
It was
weirdos.
these guys. It was Hunter Moore and the Star Chasers for sure.
Meanwhile, though, I was going like the Thursday 18 plus nights that were hosted by Joel Santana and Lloyd Banks. So I may have been a star chaser myself.
Oh my god,
Joel,
you definitely was
Joel.
You was chasing stars.
I never- all right.
You was definitely chasing
No,
stars in Webster Hall.
I was chasing not being 21. It was the only place I could go.
Yeah.
Those 18 plus nights were great. I feel bad for all the 21-year-olds though. I never understood that when I was a teenager. I was like, I don't understand why everything can't just be 18 plus. Then I turned 21 and I was like, please get these 18 and 19.
Yeah.
You learn pretty quickly why.
Yeah.
Then I turned 25 and I was like, please get these 21-year-olds away from me. Now I'm 30 and I'm like, please get these 25-year-olds away from me.
It'll keep going. New music.
New music did come out.
So, arguably the greatest artist living, greatest entertainer living. Beyonce dropped an album this weekend. Listen, man, it's not much you can say. I mean, again, I feel like the music is not for me, my demographic, guys like me. It's not for us to really bang and listen to, but I listened to it. Listen to the album because Rory said it was a great album, clean the house. I said, okay, give it a spin. And I was quickly reminded of how great of an artist Beyonce is. Like everything on this album, it was just like a tutorial of how to put out an album, how to create an album. Everything from the artwork to, just the music and the content and the transitions and the mixing and everything was just at the highest level on this project for me, just listening to it. And there was some songs in there that I can groove to.
I was gonna
it
say,
wasn't
I
as
feel like she did a really good balance of making this album for everyone when it could be deemed for a specific group of people
Mhm.
or just a specific type of music lover that's into dance and more club stuff. I saw people saying this is the most complete Beyonce album ever. I would say the self-titled one is, but This quickly went pretty high up in the ranks for Beyonce albums for me.
Yeah, this album for me is definitely one of my favorite Beyonce albums. Like I said, I don't listen to Beyonce albums much, but obviously I recognize the amazing talent that she is, so I have to listen to this and check out what she's doing and putting out. But this was this album is up there for me in her discography for sure. This is one of Beyonce's best albums.
I see Demaris reaching for the mic.
Oh no, I just wanted to ask if Maud learned how to Vogue yet.
If I learned how to Vogue, no. I read,
You have the hips for it.
I read Vogue magazine.
Really?
Okay. Do you?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. I
You
read
do?
Vogue. I still pick up Vogue every now and then. Yeah.
You still pick
For
up
like the
magazines?
You
colognes?
still like pick up like the actual like magazine?
Maul looks like he definitely opened up the cologne sticky shit.
rubbed it on himself?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, this is for me.
Oh, y'all think I'm one of them dirty Bronx niggas. Okay.
Right before you hit Webster Hall, you went in
I
right to
learned
the
a
store
lot
and got the
before hitting
Vogue and just
Webster.
ripped
No,
the page
I
out
had
and put it on
cologne
your
in the
neck.
crib. I had cologne in the house, I promise you. But yeah,
You definitely put the Chanel blue.
I have that. I
Yeah,
have the
you
Chanel
do
blue.
look like a Chanel. You got Dior Savage too.
Nah.
Rory, where do you rank this on Beyonce's discography for you?
I feel like this is a hard question to answer because
Choose
no
wisely.
matter what, you're wrong.
Choose wisely.
It's a really good album. It's a really good project.
Choose wisely.
I think I'm gonna go. Wait, am I allowed to change my mind like in an hour though?
Absolutely.
Yes, of course.
I think I'm gonna go
Why would you change your mind in an hour?
because it changes. You know, your rank of Hove albums doesn't change every now and then
Not really.
That's a different
because
conversation.
we were there. But
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go self-titled,
Okay.
Lemonade, 4, and then this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
He's definitely a dangerously in love guy.
I don't
Out
know,
the
man.
gate.
This is probably top 3. This is in her top 3 for sure. For me, I think
top 3, but not 1.
No, I don't think. It's 2. It's only been a weekend.
It's barely,
It's only been a weekend. I can't say this is her best album just over the weekend. But this is off of 3 listens. Like this is up there. This is top 3.
It's a very easy listen.
So she's projected to sell between 275,000 and 315,000
Mm-hmm.
for opening numbers. What do you guys think about that?
Just how much sales have changed and how much
Yeah.
do they matter? Like the fact that Beyonce is projected, and I don't want to say that's low, but
It
just
is low for her. It's
it's
low
low
for
for
her.
Beyonce.
of what we're used to with certain artists and certain sales, because we've seen it with the Drakes, Kendricks, like the rap world as well. But that does seem very low, and I'm not speaking to the content of the music or the artist. It's just that's low.
Yes.
For Beyonce to see that number 275 to 315, that is kind of low for Beyonce.
With a
But sales, like we're saying, is sales have changed. So it is what it is.
is there standout singles on this?
Hell yeah.
Well,
And I don't mean that in a way of
the record
negatively. It feels like with the transitions, I understand why she put out "Break My Soul" before, just to start this entire rollout and the other chapters and to sell the merch and all that stuff.
Mhm.
This album to me is similar to the Beyonce self-titled. You don't need a single. Everything runs into each other. Nothing feels like with 4, there's like just actually singles that are like, oh, we made this to be the single.
I say that the internet has been loud about Alien Superstar, about Cozy,
Heated, I feel like, even though I don't feel like it's
Heated.
a single, I just think because she was getting her shit off at the
I
end.
like Virgo's Groove.
Virgo's Groove.
Again, but
Energy.
it's 6 minutes long. Is that
Yeah,
going to be?
I like that record.
Plastic Off the Sofa is my favorite song, followed by Thick, because I just felt like she was talking about me. And that's
and Mall.
it's the truth. All right, whatever.
You feel like she was talking about me, Eddin?
Mhm.
Okay.
Pure Honey is my.
All right. No, listen. All right, we learned it.
Beyonce's an album artist, so
Beyonce is arguably the greatest artist of her generation. And you say artist, it doesn't mean just singing. You know, Beyonce is arguably the greatest entertainer of her time. Arguably one of the greatest vocalists of her time. She's just all around. She checks all the boxes. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As far as that's what I'm saying, trying to pick a single or the next single, like I said, she's an album artist. Like even the transitions in this album, you never even realize that the song is changing.
Love it.
No, the album this is a masterclass in how to put your art out there, how it should sound as far as just the mixing of it, the quality of the sound. It's a complete project, man. This is Beyonce this is what you expect from Beyonce. You don't expect anything less. Always expect greatness. You always expect her to, just all the other artists look at her like, damn, you know what I mean? Like she did it again. Like it's nothing to, you don't have to like Beyonce, but you have to respect her artistry and just the type of artist that she is. Like it's just what it is. You have to deal with it. She's not going away. She controls whatever she wants to do. She's going to look how she want to look, sound the way she want to sound, move when she wants to move. Accept it, love it, respect it, and appreciate it while we have it.
When did Beyonce become an album artist? And how do you become an album artist? Because there's very few people that have the luxury of just being
well.
an
Explain
album
what
artist.
an album artist is.
People are more focused on the full project, and you have to do less of, if any, singles to get someone to listen to your album.
So you don't have
For example, Cole put out an interlude like a week before his album. That's an album artist. Kendrick didn't put out anything. Even Drake rarely puts out a lot of singles. People are there for the full project. Now, I'm saying just for popular artists, because there are more underground that have the luxury because they just have a cult fan base and can just put the album out because everyone's sitting, waiting for their every word. But getting to do that is really hard.
Well,
because she was not an album artist.
No, it definitely started with Beyonce, but that's what I'm saying.
Did she force that on us though? Like, I don't mean force. I just mean, did she change the narrative on her own? Because she went from 4 where, I don't know, I had like 7 fucking singles. She put out mad video. Like it was a very single based album. Then you just do the no rollout, drop everything.
Surprise drop. I mean, that is enough of a bomb.
Is that your way to kind of ease people in? But only Beyonce can do some shit like that, especially in 2013.
Well, that's why I'm asking you to clarify album artists, because an artist not putting out a bunch of singles and just dropping an album is very different from an artist who actually makes a cohesive album. Like, for example, I don't think that Scorpion was a cohesive album, but it just dropped and it didn't have a whole lot of singles on it. Like Scorpion didn't have that many singles, but it had 2, right?
I think they might have been post singles. I think they came out. Oh no, was God's Plan on Scorpion? Drake is good for doing the you guys might be too young. Mal will remember the Street record, which they would put out before the actual single. Drake will do a street record that will be the biggest record in the world and then not put it on the album.
Well, Drake just keeps a feature.
His Lucy's are singles, and then they're not on the album for like a lot of time.
3 singles.
And he keeps a feature that's in heavy rotation. That's, he's on everybody. He has a verse on all of the biggest records of the year almost. Year.
Nice for What?
Nice for What
was a big single.
In My Feelings.
A very big single.
In My Feelings was post. That caught. I don't think he knew that was going to catch.
Yo, how the fuck did we start talking about Drake?
Because we were talking about album artists, and Rory brought him up as an album artist. So I was asking Rory, is he actually an album artist? Does he make cohesive albums where if you listen to you have to listen to the album from beginning to end? Like that's what I
not
think
fair to put on an album artist, because I don't want to make an album like that. You have to find the balance of, yes, you can listen to this straight through without skips, but songs need to live by themselves as well.
I think
that's what makes a great artist.
I think it's bad to talk about double albums and cohesive. It's hard for a double album to be cohesive, man. That's just a lot of fucking music.
It is a lot of music.
That's just a lot of music.
But see, what makes it a double album? Because he told you it was a double album?
I mean, 25 tracks.
Chris Brown will release it'll be one album and it'll be 40 tracks, and he doesn't tell you it's a double album. It's just Chris Brown's album.
Well, that was adjustment to streaming, and that was different. Yeah, the Scorpion is 2 drastically different sounds, on 2 different albums put together.
And this is only Renaissance is only 16, and that shit goes by fast.
It goes by really fast. And they aren't short songs either.
Nope.
So this is the first installation of.
Yeah, this is one of 3.
One of 3.
That's crazy.
Well, she got this one right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what she does from here with the next 2 installations.
Do you guys think that the next 2 installations will be of the same genre, or do you think that she'll switch genres?
I mean, I think the rumor is almost confirmed at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's R&B for the next one, and then country for the third.
Okay.
I want to hear what that country album sounds like. We already know what a R&B Beyonce album would sound like.
I don't know if
we
that's
know what R&B
we know
Beyonce
we know
sounds
what
like.
a R&B pop album sounds like from Beyonce that has R&B songs on it, but an R&B album, like,
Beyonce doesn't have any all R&B albums.
yeah.
No, but I mean, we know what it would sound like. Beyonce's R&B.
Oh no, of course, but a
Beyonce is not
full album,
R&B.
Well,
like a whole album of Me, Myself,
She's
and
the
Eyes, and
biggest
I
star on the
Cares.
planet, so it's pop. But she's an R&B singer. Like she sings R&B.
I would.
I disagree heavily. She
disagree
makes
that-
R&B music, but Beyonce is not an R&B artist.
I don't think she's
not even close.
Pop artist?
She makes R&B music, but Beyonce makes pop music, and I don't mean like it's pop because she's popular. Beyonce
Yes.
makes pop music.
Yeah, Beyonce makes all music. She's great to make country music.
Yes.
But Beyonce is rhythm and blues. There's nothing else to talk about.
I would say Lemonade was the closest thing to
to R&B. Yes.
a Beyonce R&B album that we've gotten.
Well, either way, it's just fun to see some artists like this when they're in this creative zone, and 3 installations, and we got the first one. The first one is great. Everyone seems to love it. Seems some people not really feeling it. It is what it is. You can't please everybody. So the R&B installation or the country installation is next. We don't know. We don't know which order is coming. But either way, listen, man, just gotta appreciate this type of talent, this type of artistry, and hopefully find some inspiration through it.
Yeah.
And whatever that you're creating and whatever that you're doing, try to create at a very high level.
I'm trying to think what the exact definition of an album artist would be. I think we kind of know, but whereas the singles aren't the main focus of the rollout, the album is, and then you're creating a full body of work rather than a bunch of singles you put out to hype up whatever this release is going to be.
Yeah,
but I think album artists have to be the single chasers in the beginning before they can be respected as hey, we maybe don't even need to put out a single or put out one single, announce the project, and we're all just sitting waiting for the full project, not your next single. Because Beyonce, like we said, with 4 was very much mad singles. It's a great album too, but she was still in that space where she had to put out a bunch of singles. We got to do the pre-rollout video shit. Now she's in a space where, all right, Beyonce, just give us the album.
Mm-hmm.
And very rarely do artists get to that space. Like Cole and Kendrick are there, but they had to do Swimming Pools. They had to do the Miguel record. Drake had to do Best I Ever Had. Like, artists definitely that are already album artists still have to play that game. And I just can't think of very many album artists that we will stop everything for the full project without having to hear a single or what's been going on in their life.
What's your greatest album of all time?
What genre?
Any genre. Just to you, what is the greatest album of all time? For me, it's Thriller.
Okay.
Michael
fair
Jackson,
enough.
obviously, right? So, Thriller, you look at the single, you look at the video. Video was a short movie. You knew that they were betting it all on this album. This was the one that they felt like was going to change music. This was the album that was going to solidify Michael Jackson as the greatest entertainer in the world, the greatest artist in the world. To me, when you say album artist, it has to sound, the album has to be a complete, it's almost like a score for a movie. It has to tell a story. It can't, like a lot of times these artists now, the albums that they make, it just sounds like a bunch of records that they just recorded and said, okay, this is my next album. But it's like there's no real story. There's no real like, it's what is the journey of this album? What is this album supposed to do for me when I listen to it? If it's just a bunch of records with some features on it from other artists and good songs, but it's like, what is the the overall picture. Like, what am I getting from this album?
Can you do that though with having to play the single game? Because
It
every
depends on
artist
who you
has to
are.
at some point.
It depends on who
to
you
be
are.
a popular one.
Yeah,
Because
it
like
depends on who you are.
I'm looking at side 2 of Thriller, and if you don't know the album, just Beat It to Billie Jean, Human Nature to PYT. Those 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
One could make a case like those are 4 singles that are by themselves, and this is a very much single-driven album. But then if you know Thriller, you're like, oh, Thriller's a complete album. So I guess maybe we're just saying that what makes an amazing artist is that they can do the singles, but those singles become the full project, I guess. I'm trying to word correctly. Because again, let's use Beyonce as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up that track list, because it's a track list of a bunch of singles, but I would say it's a pretty complete album. 1+1, I Care, I Miss You, Best Thing I Never Had, Party, Rather Die Young, Start Over, Love on Top, Countdown, End of Time, Run the World.
But with both those,
There's 8 singles in there.
both those albums that you just mentioned, both Mike's and Beyonce's, even if they didn't choose to put those songs out as singles, they fit in the flow of the album.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The album
That separates, I guess.
the album is it's a whole thing. It's not just, oh, I recorded this song, let me put that on my next album. It's a chapter in the story. It's like, okay, this is this chapter now, this chapter. Like, it's a vibe. Like, you just know when certain artists completely stopped everything that they were doing and like life just became this project.
And also they created the album and then picked the singles, because I think creating the album as a project,
you don't even think of the single.
and then and then going out and picking and saying, okay, this one will hit and this one will hit, instead of going into the studio and saying, I need a single and then let's find somewhere to throw this in on the album.
That's what I think is the difference between 4 and Beyonce. Granted, 4 ended up being a extremely great full album, but it definitely feels like they walked in and said, all right, Girls Run the World, this is single, let's figure out the choreography. That became a
They
thing.
knew what that was gonna do.
Whereas Beyonce, obviously she dropped it all at one point and a visual with every record. Nothing on there felt like we had to have a staff meeting about what the first single is going to be, second single. But again, chicken and egg theory, how do you get to that space where you're allowed the, I don't know what the exact word would be, the luxury of becoming an album artist? Because there could be great artists that already have the talent to make a full, complete body of work, but nobody will care. You have to bring the attention with playing the single game in the beginning. So is there any artists that have came out the gate from album 1 to 5 that have not been on any type of single time? Because Cole, we know now, is the most album artist you could ever think of in hip hop currently, maybe Kendrick. But Cole, if you remember his first career, he was chasing every fucking single you could find. He was striking out. He was getting number ones. It was a single game for Cole. He was doing features. He was grabbing Miguel on every shit. He brought Bernice to West 4th. He was trying everything.
Cole had a song with J. Cole, Mr. Nice Watch. I don't even think Cole wears watches anymore. like look where his life went. Listen, he don't even look like the same person from his first album.
Nice Watch. I love that song.
That song is really bad, and I don't want to.
Are you serious?
Mr. Nice Watch is one of the worst records ever.
Ever? Nah, I can't, I can't let you get that off. You can't just say ever. I don't love it either. I don't like the record like that. But just the fact that J. Cole has a song called Mr. Nice Watch, and now you look at J. Cole today, and it's like,
well, and this isn't going on.
Really wanted to make that type of music.
This isn't going on a tangent. I think Mr. Nice Watch and this first Cole project was the shift. You know how we talk about 50 verse Kanye was a shift from like the street shit to the nerd shit as far as rap?
Yeah.
This was for labels, the shift in you old fucks do not understand what's going on. Because they was putting Cole in with every last hit producer you could think of. Who was the other guys that was with Wiz? Stargate? Star? It was putting him with everyone that didn't work. And Cole and E was like, bro, can we just make our music? We know our fan base. I've been on tour for 2 years straight. I know what my fan base wants. I know what the internet is saying what they want. I literally talk with my fans. And they was like, nah, dude, we need that single. And then that's how you get a Mr. Nice Watch. That's Jay being out of touch. I know we're not allowed to say things. I think Cole's career woke Jay up as far as an exec and how times were shifting. Because you see what he did with Drake afterwards. They did more of like a B-side, cooler record that we knew the internet would love. Instead of trying to do the single chasey shit with your Jay-Z verse.
Yeah.
Because this Mr. White, come on, bro. This song is
I like
bad.
the fact that, but this to me,
and I don't blame Cole. I blame Jay for this.
I think at some point this actually helped Cole and Hove's relationship, because I think Jay did a great job of stepping out of Cole's way. He let Cole be Cole, move on your own time. Not right, but I think after this right here, this album.
Oh, for sure. After this,
I think this was like, you know what? You got to let him be who he is.
I think
can't try to mold him into something else.
I think it was the transition for not just Columbia Rock at that time, for all majors, that the traditional way of putting out music with these new kids. I mean, obviously they're grown men now, but Cole, Sean, Kendrick, all of them was kids at the time. With these new kids is not the traditional way of building a fan base or putting music out. We don't need to single chase anymore.
Right.
I think this started it. And then with streaming, I feel like we went back to the single chasing. I feel like we got away from it after Cole's first album. And yes, of course you had to have a single. I'm not saying that, but radio became less relevant. Mm-hmm. There was ways on the internet just to create a fan base, to go out and tour, meet your fans, put out a project, and you'd be all right. Then Beyonce put out that shit in 2013, and a lot of artists thought they were Beyonce and realized quickly that maybe I do need to put...
You're not Beyonce.
Maybe I need to announce something.
Yeah.
But it did kind of solidify that things have changed drastically with how we do music rollouts. Mm-hmm. I feel streaming put us back into a big single game. So many artists,
you got to do something to get the streams up. You got to do something to let the people know you're working, you're recording, something is happening.
But look at Atlantic's roster. Half of them even putting out an album would be dumb, because there's so much just put out the record on their Spotify profile with their monthly listeners. If you see what their single stream and then what their album stream, it's like, wait, are these the same artists?
Right.
Because
not only that, the shows.
Oh, of course. Fucker will have 6 billion fucking streams and can't even sell at SOBs.
Right.
So
that's right. And I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
You think I'm exaggerating?
No, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
So I feel like we have actually backtracked, and I guess that's why I wanted to have the single versus album artist conversation, because it has gone back to a lot of single chasey things where playlists have now become the new radio and getting placements on certain shit. You got to do the single stuff because you have to get in the algorithms. The only way to get in the algorithms is through singles.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. It's in a fucked up place it's different for every single artist.
So we landed on, I guess, the comparisons are, everybody on the internet seems to be wanting to compare, who's the greatest entertainer of all time? Who's the greatest artist of all time? Mm. You got the Beehive saying Beyonce, it's not even close. She's the greatest entertainer ever, and you can understand why the Beehive would feel like that. And then you have others that are of age that remember the time.
What was Michael's hype called? Earth?
I mean, I'm one of the biggest Michael Jackson fans. Mm-hmm. Beyonce, I don't think it's fair to compare her and Michael Jackson. I understand Michael Jackson is the bar that every artist shoots for, every artist aims at, every artist is inspired by at some point or another. But I think it's unfair. You can't compare Beyonce and because you just can't, man. It was a different time.
Okay, let's take the time.
If Michael Jackson had social media, like, are you kidding me?
We're comparing their careers, though, not their talent.
Okay, but I think they're a fair comparison.
It goes hand in hand
to begin with.
It goes hand in hand.
No,
started out early in their careers, very young. Groups went to solo acts. Mm-hmm. They are both true actual vocalists that could really fucking sing. Mm-hmm. They are true fucking dancers, choreography, everything. They sell out fucking stadiums.
They're entertainers at the highest level.
They are true musicians. I think it's one of the most fair comparisons to have in a debate. They literally mirror each other in so many categories.
Well,
you could say who would be better in each category, but they both check off boxes in categories where I don't think you could find two other artists that do the same thing. That check each box.
Absolutely. But there's other boxes though. There's, Michael Jackson, obviously Beyonce is inspired by Mike. She's on the record saying it, We don't even have to talk about that.
That's why they mirror each other so much, is because Beyonce picked out Michael and chose to mirror him.
Right.
That's what she wanted.
You can mirror. I tried to mirror Michael Jordan. Guess what?
Jumper wasn't.
Closest I got was the sneakers. That was it. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't, but I just think that you have to let Beyonce, just let her stand on her own. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I try not to get caught up in comparison because it's just Michael Jackson, I don't know if I've never seen video of people fainting for Beyonce. Maybe it's out there. I don't know. Michael Jackson had people fainting at shows. Like, it's just different. Like, you got the military behind you. You can go to these different countries, like, escorting you. It's just a different thing, man. Michael was, he was larger than life. He was, it was almost like that. He's not even real. So, and I know, and that was, to me, that's one of Michael's biggest attributes, was his mysteriousness, his mystique, his aura, his ability to make you feel like he's not a real person. You don't see him. He's not accessible. You're not going to just bump into Mike in a club somewhere or at a restaurant. You're not going to see him. Like, that just didn't happen.
Well, all right. That's where I'll say the sliders on certain things. So yes, as one of the boxes, Mike did have far more popular impact on the entire world than Beyonce did. But also, to your point of different eras, I always go back to my favorite Drake line. I don't know how they survive in this era. Do we know how Michael would have fared having to be on social media the way Beyonce has been able to keep mystique and stay relevant with social media? Because that's a fucking skill in itself.
Mike wouldn't have been.
Who else can do that? Who could be this active on socials?
If Mike posted on Instagram, that shit would break.
Of course.
If he went live on Instagram,
no, I'm saying if they were the same age. Let's say Michael Jackson, rest in peace, would be 40 years old today. The way Beyonce has started career in 1998.
So Mike at 40? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying we don't know how he would have had to adjust, knowing the way he spoke about just not fucking with people and hates this shit, how he would have maybe not remained as fucking relevant because he was so scared of the public. Beyonce has found a way that I don't think any other artist, period, has felt accessible and so inaccessible at the same time. Because when you go to her tours, all those wedding and baby photos and like the shit they do is the greatest shit ever, because she keeps herself so away from us and then so much on top of it when it's time to put music out. We feel like we know her, and then she also can be this mystique on like, what's Beyonce doing?
Her life.
I don't know any other artist that does that as well. She has a very active Instagram. Like Beyonce, and again, you could say it's a team, all that, whatever. It still takes from Beyonce at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Also,
it's all ifs and hypothetical. I just don't know how Michael would have handled that. I mean, granted, we know he went through a lot of public scrutiny, but
we can also say
Mike didn't fuck with people.
You can also say would Beyonce be as big as she is worldwide if it wasn't for the internet? If she lived in Michael's era, would she be able to keep that?
Beyonce, Beyonce was gonna be as big as she is, regardless of the era. To me,
well, I'm saying if Beyonce started her career in 1970 and was the same age as Mike, I don't know, just because of the times for a black woman as a pop artist, there might have just been a ceiling regardless. So I think that's unfair to say Beyonce in the same time as Mike.
I mean, Diana Ross.
Not exactly. Because Janet was huge too. She was popping.
Yeah.
She was a pop artist.
Janet was huge. I mean,
and I think Janet would have done better in the Beyonce era than her.
I agree on
era.
that. I agree on that.
Wait, say that again?
I think if we went, was it 98 to 2022, the Beyonce era right now, I think Janet Jackson would have fared better in that era than her actual era.
Wait, Janet is a fucking icon. What are you talking about?
Of course she is.
Yeah, but he's saying she would have been an even bigger, a bigger icon.
How much bigger you want her to be? You want her to be Mike?
Close to it.
I mean, it's not what we want for her.
Do you think Janet? Who's bigger, Beyonce or Janet?
If Janet,
well, obviously Beyonce is bigger.
So and I'm saying Janet could have gotten to that level in the Beyonce era. Let's say Beyonce's not here in the Beyonce era, though. Janet Jackson could have very well been that, because it was a different, more progressive time for a black woman to be a superstar.
When Janet was the shit that Beyonce wears now, when Janet used to wear it was deemed risque.
Yeah.
Like it was, that's where she got the sex symbol title from, as far as her and Madonna, because what they were doing back then was risky. Megan do that shit on live every 5 seconds now.
And it put a ceiling on how big Janet really could have got, because the risky stuff they tried to put a lid on.
Yes. Like if Beyonce's titty popped out at the Super Bowl during her performance right now, nobody would care. Like people would care, but they wouldn't have cared as much as they did in 2002 before YouTube was created.
And that was way at the
Or
latter part of
2001.
Janet's career too. That was more of a nostalgic performance than it was I'm actively putting out music performance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like the caption. Janet could have been bigger in Beyonce's era because Janet was huge, like in her era.
Of course, doesn't mean she
So I
couldn't be
just
bigger.
don't-
Like
I don't
hand to hand to Beyonce.
I mean, I in all honesty, I think that, you know, the fact that her brother is the biggest star ever on the planet, it's almost like, damn, like they're comparing her to her brother. Well, Mike is your brother. You're supposed to be just as big as him. And it's like, nobody's going to be as big as Mike. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, but in her regard, in respect to her, she's still an icon.
But look at us. We're comparing Beyonce to Mike right now, as far as like
Because she's the biggest of her generation. She's the biggest of, you know, her time. Like, so you have to compare the biggest of their times to each other. I get it. I understand. I just don't like to do it. I like for people to kind of just, especially when you're talking Beyonce and Mike, it's just to me. But either way, Beyonce is the greatest entertainer of her time.
Well,
I don't even think it's close.
But we're not talking about if she's the greatest entertainer of her time. We're talking about if she's the greatest entertainer of all time. Or the most successful. Honestly, the conversation.
I'm not ready to put her above Mike.
Let's round back to. I agree with you, but let's round back to the original conversation, right? Because I feel like the original conversation is a little easier to actually debate. The question was who had a better second half of their career.
That's what we asked last time, and I'm glad we got on that tangent though, because that was good conversation.
It was.
But yes,
that can be compared.
Okay, so who had a better second half? All right, so where are we starting the second half from?
Well, they both were in groups as kids, so I'm counting Jackson 5 and Destiny's Child time. Is that fair?
That's fair.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So
I'm not
I
mad at
wrote
that.
down Beyonce's first album, which would have been Destiny's Child, was 1998. Michael's with Jackson 5 was 1969.
Jeez.
Michael's last album, solo, 2001. Beyonce's last album, obviously 2022. So that puts Mike, second half of his career was 32 divided by 2, 16.
Yes.
1985 would be the middle of Michael Jackson's career.
So right
So it's
after Thriller and right
after
before
Thriller,
Bad.
The middle of Beyonce's now would be 2010. Hold on.
So right after.
2010.
So basically the 4 album.
4 and on.
So okay, so 4 Beyonce, Lemonade, Homecoming, The Lion King, and now Renaissance. Is it fair to put
it's a pretty-
Renaissance in? It just came out 3 days ago. We can't really
Yes.
count that, can we?
Yes, we can.
You wanna count it? Okay,
Yes,
so
we
we'll
can.
count it.
It's a pretty fucking crazy lineup.
It's a crazy lineup. Great lineup.
We said what, 85? So that puts the Bad album, which is crazy, Dangerous, and Invincible. Again, I don't know if this is a fair.
You're not beating those 3 albums, dog. Niggas can't fuck with Mike.
Oh.
Man. Niggas gotta. But see, this is what I'm saying. That's why it's not fair. You gotta leave Michael Jackson alone.
Are we talking about talent or are we talking about who had a better career?
Listen,
Are we talking about who had
whatever
a
you
better
talking
career?
about,
Are we
let
talking
the
about who
ghost
had
of
a
Michael
better-
Jackson sleep,
Are
dog.
we
Because
talking about who
if
had
that
a
nigga
better-
start
Dangerous?
moonwalking,
Listen, I'm a Michael Jackson stan. I'm with. I don't think anybody can compare to Mike. But what
Man.
we're asking is who had a better half of their career.
Second half.
Let's not act like second better. Yeah, better second half.
Because the first half is not up for debate.
No, at all.
yeah.
But let's not
what we saying.
pretend.
Like,
Let's
what we-
not
I'm trying to do the
pretend.
sliders.
No,
So,
get it, yeah,
because we
but-
know Michael's first half of his
Yeah,
career,
man,
no
but
one's
take-
touching that
yeah,
But
shit.
let's
take
not
them-
talk.
take
Are
them
we just
sliders-
talking about albums? Because Michael did not have a good half of his second half of his career.
I know, that's why I'm just trying to be.
We just said
I'm
the
trying to
second
be an
half-
asshole and just trying to help Beyonce.
We just said the second half of his career was the Bad album.
I'm not talking about
Which
his
is crazy.
albums. Your career is not just the albums that you put out. Plenty of people put out amazing
Oh, I'm going off
albums.
discographies.
What are you
really.
talking about?
Yeah, we're going
Scandals and shit?
we're going off albums right
Oh,
now.
you're just talking about. So we're just talking about Michael wins.
Are you talking about Scan? Like Scan?
Y'all shouldn't even try to debate that if we just talk about albums.
Oh, yeah.
That type of shit. I don't. Listen,
But
the feds didn't
I'm
find
talking
nothing.
about
That's all I'm
scandals.
gonna
I'm
say.
talking about touring. I'm talking about public perception. I'm talking about everything. If you're gonna say the question, who had the better second half of their career? If you're just talking about discography, then this isn't even a conversation.
Listen, man, we know what they tried to do to Mike. We know what they tried to do. Like we got enough information now. The feds raid your property twice, don't find nothing. That means it's nothing there for them to hide. Like it is what it is. Like Mike is the greatest entertainer, the greatest artist to ever live. Like it is what it is.
Listen, man, of course we know Bad is the Bad album.
You said what?
Of course we know that.
What did you say?
But if you doing the other, like, I fuck with Dangerous. Don't get it wrong.
He said bad is the bad
But
album.
we know it's the bad album. Like, it's fucking nothing's gonna beat bad. I'm going with the other two. Dangerous. I can make a case
No, you can't.
What's the
No, you
case?
can't, baby.
for Beyonce, Lemonade, Homecoming, because now you get all the hits too.
Yo, I love Beyonce.
Lion
but you're not
King
gonna do
and
that.
Renaissance.
We're not
I gotta
doing
stop.
this. We're not
Rory.
doing
Stop.
So you're just saying the bad album beats all of that?
Yes, I'll say it. bad,
Maul
bad
said
were
it.
7 of those albums. What you talking about, man?
Tripping, bro.
This is that's what I'm saying. It's not fair because then it starts to sound like we not giving Beyonce respect,
We are.
and that's why I don't like doing shit like this because
Well,
of
I don't
course
do that because before we got on mic, you said that Beyonce wins.
no, but now but once you start telling me what we were counting, once you gave me what we were doing, now I understand. Like no, like nah, not at all.
Which
man.
album you said that Mike was trash? I'm calling you out.
I didn't really like the what's that last album right there?
Invincible.
Or Escape.
Escape doesn't count.
That doesn't. He wasn't even alive.
Yeah, this is like posthumous. I think
Like what?
does Michael
He wasn't
count?
even alive.
I don't think Michael counts. I think this is also posthumous.
So Invincible was the last one.
Yes.
Which was kind of
I was gonna
Which
say
was kind of what?
Invincible was
Right.
Which
alright.
was kind of
all right.
Coming off of Bad and Dangerous. Like it wasn't up to
Y'all
Bad.
got
this compared to the other two albums.
Y'all gotta.
But Butterfly, I mean, it got some.
No,
don't get it
Butterfly's
twisted.
the joint. You Rock
It
My
was
World
some-
was a joint.
It was some shit on there. We're not going to act like it wasn't
Yeah.
some joints on there. But in comparison to Bad and Dangerous,
That's like nothing.
it
I'm just saying, I feel like everything from 4 on beats Invincible. Obviously, Bad beats everything. So now you just got to debate Dangerous versus 2 or 3 Beyonce albums in there. I can make a fucking case, is all I'm saying.
Please click on Dangerous, please, so we can remind Rory.
I know what's on
So we can
Dangerous.
stop talking.
Dangerous is amazing.
Jam. That's
Okay,
it.
okay, thank you. The
That's it.
first song.
Jam.
The first song.
Like-
Remember the time. The first song. Please stop. Heal the world. Please stop.
Yeah.
Black or white?
Please. Why are you talking to me, bro?
you put up a good
Gone
fight,
too
Rory.
soon.
I ain't gonna lie. You put up
You
a
tried.
good fight, man.
You
but
tried really
that's
hard.
why I'm just
Beyonce
not.
was sitting up
Hey,
be like, Rory, stop.
hey, fuck y'all. Love on top.
Great record.
This is a great record.
Great record.
Beyonce will be like, Rory,
She brought the
stop.
beat in.
Please stop.
It's just time that we just stop doing this and stop trying to. I know that's just human nature. Look, Michael Jackson again.
Yeah, right.
It's human nature to just compare the generations in the era and the artists, and because Mike is the bar. That's who everybody's aiming for. But it's just leave Michael Jackson alone.
You know why I think I did want to bring this up during the Beyonce thing? I wanted to highlight, and I don't know why I had to bring Michael into it, but just for content purposes, I wanted to highlight that I think it's amazing that Beyonce being the superstar icon that she is, I think her discography is getting better with her age, where
Yeah.
we
Oh, no, for
usually
sure.
see
For sure.
artists,
That I agree.
their discography starts
Start
to
to
go
tape off a
down.
little bit, yeah.
I think she's in the best fighting shape she's ever been in.
I think, and that's what makes her incredible, and why we even have this type of debate.
That's what I was trying to do with the
Because
second half career.
It
So,
seems like she's getting better.
And I think
Yeah.
that's because Beyonce isn't getting into her 40s like a lot of artists do and try to start catching one
Yeah.
and trying to start being a kid. She continues to create and be creative and try different things and also know herself, know her limits, know what her voice sounds good on, know what her audience wants at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, she's very self-aware. And I think her team is also very self-aware.
She is not just self-aware. She's in full control at this point. And I think that's the most important thing. When you're in full control and you're a creative genius, and now you have the tools and you have the access to bring your creativity to life.
Mm.
I think this is when you get the true artist, and you get, you just separate the artists from each other. It's like, okay, yeah, they're doing that. Those are cool. But this is something totally different. Beyonce is something that just stands in a category by itself.
better actor, Michael or Beyonce?
Oh my god.
You know what? I'm not following.
Did you believe him as the werewolf?
No, I didn't for 1 second in Thriller. I was not scared.
Beyonce gets a bad rep for being a bad actress too, but I don't think that that's true. I think she's not bad.
That's because people just can't stand to see somebody that's so big at in music do something different.
But yeah,
And it's
but
like
they
no
did the
matter
same thing
what
to
her
Janet,
role is,
they
like, nigga,
said
that's
Janet can't
Beyonce.
act. They said Janet can't act either. The only person I've actually not seen get that backlash that much is Bow Wow. I think people actually like Bow Wow. People like Bow Wow more
Wait,
as an actor.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but landing on Bow Wow.
No, we're talking about artists.
It was
who
like
became,
Beyonce, Janet, and then it's like Shad.
What? Yo,
Those are my big three.
listen, Bow Wow,
He's a good actor.
legend. But I was not expecting his name to be thrown on the fucking
But we're
coffee
talking.
table.
Well, at this point, we're talking about people who are in music, no matter how big they are in music, going into the acting world. People like Bow Wow more as an actor than
Bow
people
Wow
a music
out-acted
artist.
Beyonce and Carmen Hip Hop Opera, I felt like.
Oh my fucking God.
And then did her sister the same as Johnson Family Vacation. Damn.
Nah, Solange held it down.
Yo, Fabio said he signed the Mace for 5 stacks, bro. No, I love Fabio. I fuck with Fabio, man. All jokes aside, Fabio Foreign had an interview on $1 Million Worth of Game. Shout out to Gillian Wallow. Saying that he signed to Mace for $5,000. Mace then double up Harlem. He did an episode of $1 Million Worth of Game, and he broke it down and said that Fabio, in fact, got $750,000. I don't know if Fabio's math was wrong. I don't know how he missed that many zeros, maybe. But it just seems like a classic case of a kid not knowing the music business, and feeling like he may have been taken advantage of. Mace being somebody who alleges and feels like he was taken advantage of at Bad Boy. I was hoping that wasn't the case. That I was like, damn, Mace, like, I've been on my platform saying that, I wish Mace and Puff can, square that away and, move forward, because Mace was such an intricate part of the Bad Boy legacy and, all these things. So now to hear Fabio say that Mace signed him for $5,000, it was hurtful. I was like, damn.
I wanted to know what that meant. When Fabio just said, I signed to Mace for $5,000, I was like, well, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
You signed what in return for $5,000?
I didn't see the episode yet. I am gonna check it out.
Well, Mace,
because I need to hear Mace break down exactly. I need him to get into. I mean, well, we have it here.
Yeah,
if you want to read it.
Clips were circulating, and I watched them. The longer version. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire episode, but I watched the longer version of this specific topic. Said at one time I gave him $5,000, but I gave him $750,000 because I sent him up to do a deal to where I can control the deal, make the deal what it should be, because I knew if he had the leverage, he would go in there and sell both of us out. Okay, what Mace is saying there is there was offers on the table for Fabio. It appears that Mace would have been the production house, more or less, which a lot of artists sign. They sign a production, and then the production goes in there and does a joint venture deal. For example, artists would sign to Rough Riders, and Rough Riders would go do a deal with Universal.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that if Fabio went in there, he would have no leverage to do a deal with the label and would end up getting fucked. So he said, sign with me. I'll go in there because I have leverage with the label and we'll get a better deal out of it. It's what Mace is saying, more or less. Then we went in the building. I took 800 and he took 700. The reason why I went down to 700, I'm talking about 700,000, is because when I gave him 750 and I took 750, he owed me 50. Mace claims he put $50,000 towards Fabio's career before he signed the deal to Columbia Records.
So yeah, I didn't watch it yet, but I'm gonna watch it because I did want some clarification on that. I did want to make sure that Fabio wasn't in a fucked up situation with Mace. Just because of the shit that Mace went through in the industry, I was just hoping that he wouldn't be putting another young, just not knowing about the business artist through the same situation that he went through when he was a young artist. I was just hoping that this wasn't a case of the cycle just repeating itself. So I am going to check out this interview just because I do want to know more about it. And it's always good to see, cats like Mace sitting on platforms and talking anyway.
Yeah, I'm just curious what the what the deal was about. If they're going to talk about this publicly with everything, that's what I was more curious about. I wasn't curious before, but
right
now that they're going back and forth, there's so much that's left out in what they're saying that it's not even fair to make an assumption of what it is or what that Mace just only have $5,000 in his pocket at the time. Was like, yo, you sign, hold this for a second.
Yeah.
Right.
we'll take it out of the budget.
Right.
I don't know what any of that was. I don't know what the deal with Columbia is. I don't know what the 8 that Mace got was for or what the 750 was for an
Yeah, all
album
of that-
budget? What was the advance out of it? What was
like I said,
there's
that's
just too much shit.
Yeah, that it's more to it. Like I said, I don't know if Mace breaks all of that down. I don't know if he's on $1 million worth of game breaking down the entire contract, but I was just hoping that
I didn't see that. And
Favi
again,
wasn't signed for $5,000.
if
That's
you-
all I was hoping. And Mace may be lying. I don't know. We got to wait to see what Fabio says in response to Mace saying what he said. We don't know. I just hope that Mace isn't taking advantage of a young artist.
Well, Mace got on Gillian Wallow and said, I'm Diddy 2.0.
That was a joke. He was just joking. That
and
was
they put that out before, which
Yeah.
was great, obviously, social media marketing. But in context, they put that out before Mace said, or pardon, the actual interview came out.
Yeah.
So it did look fucking nuts. You saw Favi saying, yo, he signed me for $5,000, and then Mace, yo, did he point
2.0? Yeah, that was. I knew what that was. Though I knew what that was.
More
Y'all gonna-
Philly news.
Y'all gonna have to start calling me Malstradamus soon. I'm sorry. I told y'all
Oh.
that I asked y'all when is Will Smith and Chris Rock gonna sit down, when they're gonna have the talk.
What about Mal Stradamus?
No.
Mal?
No. And as soon as we got home the other night from recording, Will Smith put out a video. Guess what this is? Apology
Mm-hmm. Well, you knew because you were holding the camera.
to
Gross.
to Chris. Yo, recording a man's apology video is crazy. like you're not talking
Yo,
to the
all
talk
right,
right here.
go
Look
now.
at me. Yeah,
Look at me.
yeah,
Look
at me.
Look at me while you apologize to him. Yo, look.
Oh no, I've seen those videos in different circumstances.
Oh yeah,
not
yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
Oh,
So
when-
yeah,
Hey, yo.
Remember when Jim Jones
I would love
ran
if-
down on dude and said, "Do you
Yeah.
think what you said was conducive to
Yeah.
you walking around the city?"
classic. That
Great.
was classic.
Look in the camera and apologize.
That was classic. So yeah, Will Smith issued an apology to Chris Rock. If Eddin could scroll up so I can read the top of something.
I'm sorry, I didn't even reading.
Okay, cool. Will Smith has broken his silence and openly apologized to Chris Rock, posting an emotional video Friday in which he goes through a series of questions addressing his slap of Rock.
How could he slap?
His slap of Rock. I like that. His slap of Rock on the Oscar stage just minutes before he would win the Best Actor Oscar. Smith said that he reached out to Rock but received a message in return that Rock will reach out when he's ready to talk.
I don't think Chris is going to talk to him in public. I think that's going to be a private call.
Well,
I think they'll talk.
Say at the-
I think they'll talk privately first, but they're gonna sit down publicly for sure.
he
I don't
also
think
said
that'll be
that,
the first time that they speak, but
Right.
they're gonna sit down on camera for sure.
He also said that it had nothing to do with Chris and Jada's prior back and forth. Said it was from his own personal shit.
With Chris, he said it was from his own personal. They said, "Is it because of Jada?" He said, "No, me and Chris have a history."
Yeah, so like I said, it's some things that's probably behind scenes. I've seen a lot of videos when it all happened, and they were saying that Chris Rock had done a bunch of stand-ups, throwing shots at them, and this, that, and the third. But my thing is, this is Chris Rock. He's one of the greatest comedians ever. Got to take all of these as jokes. It is what it is. But Will Smith obviously knows that was crazy what he did that night. And this is, I guess, is his turning point of him extending the olive branch, trying to put this behind him. So yeah, like you said, on Chris Rock's time, I'm sure Chris Rock could talk to him eventually. And but right now, I think he's still on tour with Kevin Hart. He got shit going on. I think he has a solo stand up that he's doing that he's going to shoot. So I don't know. I don't know when they'll sit down. I do believe that they will. And I would love to see it because I'm pretty sure that they're going to talk about a lot of shit that's going to make things clear. Like, oh, okay, now we understand why he got his jaw tapped.
You think they'll still talk despite his response?
Chris Rock's response?
Yeah.
What was his response? Is this it?
Yeah, everybody's trying to be a fucking victim. If everybody claims to be a victim, then nobody will hear the real victims. Even me getting smacked by Suge Smith, I went to work the next day. I got kids.
Yeah. So listen, Chris Rock was embarrassed in front of the world, and it's hard to, as a man, to be embarrassed like that, and then people feel like, oh, you should just accept his apology. You should. It's like, nah, when I'm ready to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's when he's ready to, and Will Smith understands that. Either way, Will Smith was wrong. He knows that. He accepted it. He moved on.
And Chris Rock isn't wrong for not wanting to
Not at
talk
all.
to him at all.
Not
Yeah.
at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
This has to be on your time. This has to be when you're ready to talk.
But the fact that Will even has to come out and apologize to the world is insane to me.
Well, he had.
You know why, right? No one thinks this has anything to do with the $30 million he just signed and the Emancipation movies being pushed back because of all this. This has nothing to do with Chris Rock.
Well,
It's time for an image change.
Yeah.
I have a movie that was delayed
It's
because
a
of my
rebrand.
actions. They gave me $30 million. yes, I have to do a fucking video and look like this really nice guy. And
this is PR shit.
Well, yeah, of course, but it's just fucked up because.
But he has to talk about it publicly because what he did was public.
He's had a squeaky clean career. This isn't a career fucking criminal who has always been in the media for some scandalous shit. He's had a squeaky clean career. He made one mistake and they've made him out to be Will Smith.
Well, Will Smith,
the one who did not curse in his raps or anything. Like, parents just don't understand Will Smith. They have made him out to be the biggest, scariest black man of all time.
It's not that. It's that he just.
Yes, they have. His colleagues, when all those people were coming out saying, I was scared for my life and this is abominable, he could have killed Chris. They all did that shit.
Oh no,
who said that?
Yeah, those are people that just never had the shit slapped out of them. Nobody was gonna die.
So many of his colleagues.
It's well, he had to come out publicly and apologize because what he did was public. So he had to do that publicly. I do agree with Rory. I do think that this is PR work. He has to clean up the mess that he created. He has to try to put it behind him. It's a lot of money at stake. Even though Will Smith has a lot of money, I mean, it's still a lot of money to make and a lot of money that he has lined up.
And I thought was a bitch move. And I don't know if this is the way they're trying to angle it, but it is kind of how it could be perceived. Don't ask me I'm ready to talk on some public platform when you know I'm on a world tour. I'm not at home chilling. You know I'm doing shit. And now if I don't respond now, I could be perceived as like the immature one. Yeah. Like, oh, Chris Rock, Will Smith did this heartfelt apology, and now Chris Rock is just saying he'll talk to you whenever. He's on a world tour. Leave me alone. I'm working.
No, that's a fact. But Will Smith did reach out privately.
He's been on tour.
Right. But what I'm saying is he had to do this because his actions were public. It was on the Oscar stage.
Yeah, he's not even apologizing to Chris.
He's reached out to Chris Rock behind cameras or no mics, nothing. He's reached out.
But he's been on tour since that incident. Like he went on tour the next week.
So he's just letting the public know, like, yo, I reached out.
I haven't replied to Les for spot dates we've done in LA.
Yeah,
like he's on a world tour.
That's a 20-minute conversation on the phone. He has 20 minutes to talk on the phone.
That's gonna be longer than 20 minutes. You slap me on the Oscar stage, we're gonna have to talk more than 20 minutes, my nigga.
Yeah, and I need my 5 minutes.
We lining it up, we catching his fate. All of that is happening, and then after that, maybe we could be cool again, but we definitely talking.
To be
more
fair,
than 20
Will
minutes.
never said like, oh, he just like he's not mad that he doesn't want to talk to him. Will's thing is more like, okay, I'm apologizing to your mother. I'm apologizing to your brother who I was cool with, which I understand because when you're friends with somebody and you slap the shit out their sibling, it's like I've had that happen to me before.
Yeah, but if I slap a nigga.
But if I slap a nigga, I'm not apologizing to your mama. I'm sorry.
If I slap somebody in private, I'm not going on IG apologizing to their moms. Will Smith had to do that because he slapped Chris Rock on one of the biggest stages in Hollywood.
I just don't like with this press release they put out that Will had reached out and Chris said no. I thought that was just a bitch move because he's on tour.
Well, the number one question people asked the moment this popped up, because the moment he started talking, the first thing I said was, why the fuck you ain't call his phone with this? And then he came out and said the reason why is because, I did come to his phone with this. He said he didn't want to talk. Because the moment he starts apologizing, the first thing everybody's going to say is, why didn't you call his phone and say this? Why are you telling us?
And I think that's still not fair because I'm on a world tour.
I just like the fact that a celebrity as big as Will Smith is still like cognizant and in line with like marketing and how they got the Just Water sitting right there.
For sure. Those hats went crazy.
Jaden's water, like everything is like. Don't think that everything behind him is just by circumstance. No.
This is a complete business.
Yeah, this was.
And you know what's crazy? I don't even think that. I think that Will is really hard on himself because he did it publicly, and Will is a people pleaser. He said that for a long time, is that he's a people pleaser. He doesn't like when he disappoints like his fans or anybody. He doesn't like disappointing people. But I don't think that Will's that sorry. I think Will's sorry of where he did it, but I don't think that Will is sorry that he did it. And I think
I'm gonna go the other way. I think Will Smith, he regrets. I think he's sorry that he did that because
where he did it
for his.
I think that
for his own
sorry
personal reasons though, not for Chris.
Yeah,
no, not. But I think a little bit of both. I think it's for his own reasons career. For sure, but. It's Chris Rock, dog. Like, you slapped Chris Rock. You know how corny that is? It's Chris Rock. Like, so I know he realized he fucked up. He slipped up. Like, damn, that was stupid. I shouldn't have did that. I do believe that Will Smith is truly sorry about that. Because again, this is Chris Rock. This is somebody who he has a history with. He even said him and Tony Rock, Chris's brother, they were real cool, real close. So Chris Rock isn't a stranger. Chris Rock and Will Smith know each other. They've known each other for years. They've acted together. Like, so, I mean,
see how Jada was like, don't bring me up in that shit. Make sure you tell them niggas that I ain't tell you to do that stupid shit.
Yeah, but I didn't even understand why people felt like she did anyway.
Well,
that
people
was
hate
stupid.
Jada, so
yeah, like that was stupid. But either way, I can't wait for these two to sit down and really like bury the shit and put it behind them
At
so
the
we
red
can
table?
all not at the red table. No, God, no. Please don't do it at the red table. But they should definitely sit down and soon, whenever Chris Rock is ready and done doing what he's doing and put this shit behind us.
I don't think Chris is ever gonna sit with him. I really don't.
It's gonna happen. They got Drake, man.
Did they?
They got Drake.
Mm-hmm.
One of you Starchasers gave it to him.
Did they?
All the Starchasers was in Toronto.
Starchasers were definitely in Toronto.
All of y'all was in Toronto this past weekend. You was at Caravana, Soca, winding down the road. And then y'all went to the boys' crib and somebody coughed. God damn it.
Or sneezed.
Or sneezed. One of y'all got him. So now they fucked up the whole...
Or fucked.
I mean, I
Or them
wasn't...
tickets cost too much.
Yeah.
Wait, you think it just didn't sell out and that's why?
It's a possibility.
You see what I'm saying? You see
I don't
Demaris?
think for the
Demaris, you gotta
the
take the
reunion.
scarf. Take the conspiracy scarf off, because whenever you wear the scarf,
No,
you
I'm
start
not
going
saying
crazy.
that. That's what I think. I'm saying that's what some people are saying.
Because of the ticket sales, everybody was beefing about. All of the
But for the
what was
reunion, I feel like that was the one people would buy tickets
that
for.
would sell itself. Nicki, Drake, and Wayne is gonna sell itself.
Are they sold out?
I'm pretty sure they were. The other event, what was it? The Northern
Stars.
that looked that
What, that was
looked
at a different venue though, right?
Yeah, but that should look like it was sold out. That should look packed out. So I'm only listen. I think that if Drake is saying he has COVID, I'm not mad at the thought of people thinking that Drake can't sell tickets. I think it's just funny when people think shit like that.
It's not about Drake here. We all know Drake can sell tickets.
Yeah, so Drake, Wayne, and Nicki together for the first time in how long? I think that sells out.
Hell yeah.
That's just a guess. I could be wrong. I don't be outside like that. I don't know what y'all listening to. Somebody told me that they like the NIMS record now more in the club than they do like Rowdy Rebels computers. I thought that was crazy.
What's the NIMS record? I'm old.
Bing Bong, whatever the NIMS record is.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Drake, Wayne, and Nicki are selling 16,000 tickets.
Yeah, like look, we don't even have to talk about that. I mean, it is what it is. I really think that one of those Starchasers got to him, and
I wasn't thinking immediately tickets, and if we were going to go down the conspiracy thing, I don't know if it was an internal Young Money thing. That's where my brain went. If it wasn't just strictly COVID, which it probably could just be COVID.
Yeah,
but we like to do conspiracy shit, and this is a podcast. Internal bullshit is what I can see. They've definitely, the three of them have had their ups and downs individually with each other.
but I feel like they were good now though. No, they got the C and Green record.
Phenomenal record.
Yeah, I figured that was to let people know that hey, we're good now. We've talked. Drake and Wayne have still said, yo, anybody beef with Nicki, it's on. They let them know they still riding for Nick and nobody can't come at her. So, I thought that means that, yo, listen, everything is good. But again, this is a podcast. Conspiracy theories. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
I just feel like these three have publicly shown us that they all separately take things very personally.
Mm-hmm.
Nicki takes things personally. Drake takes things purposely. And Wayne in his own way takes things purposely. Not the same way Drake and Nicki do, but we've seen Wayne just take shit personally and be like, oh, fuck that. I can see one tiny thing causing a rift between the three of them. Especially if Seeing Green was more of a business move and they hadn't really settled shit, but it's in a place where we could at least do this record and figure it out from there.
Where's Wayne's legal shit at as far as crossing the border? I'm pretty sure Drake could have pulled some strings to get him across, but I mean, we just having conspiracies. Maybe Wayne couldn't cross. For whatever reason, I don't know. I think Wayne is good. I don't think has any restrictions on travel or anything like that. But again, the Canadian border, but Drake got too much pull. He can get Wayne into Canada with no problem.
I mean, have we seen? I know Seeing Green happened after, but do we know where Nicki was with the whole Drake and Meek being fucking best friends again thing?
I mean,
I don't think Nicki is tripping off of Drake and Meek being cool. I don't think she.
Yeah, she wouldn't have agreed to have.
Yeah, I don't think.
This
I don't
role.
think she cares about that type of shit. I think we care more about that type of shit than she
Well,
does.
I don't care at all.
Well,
not
you,
not
but I'm
you,
just saying,
yeah.
like the fans. I think that we bring that shit up and talk about that shit more than Nicki probably would. But I don't know. Either way, if Drake is sick, hopefully, he gets over it soon and tests negative and can get another date. It's just fucked up because so many people traveled to Canada this weekend for the
Well, who knows how Wayne felt about Drake being cool with Meek again? Because we've seen Wayne go to bat for Nicki countless times. Hot 97 said, "Don't do that shit. Fuck them." When Ross was trying to put Wayne and Pusha T on the same Maybach shit, he said, "Fuck you. No way. Take that shit off or I'm not doing it." He's rode for his artist before. So
Yeah.
I could see
I
could see Wayne feeling a way more than Nicki for the Drake and Meek shit.
No way, man. Hell nah. I mean, it's fun to have.
I'm throwing shit.
But I'm throwing that. I'm take that piece of paper, throw
He
that.
probably
in the
caught
garbage.
COVID.
He got COVID. That's what makes the
He
most
has been
sense
running
here.
around here like a star chaser himself.
Yeah, he has COVID.
He needs to sit his ass down.
He has COVID. But again, prayers to Drake. Get well soon. Set a new date for the show because I'm pretty sure everybody is excited to see that. Maybe production, some shit wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Could be that too. Maybe we just shooting too high with all the other conspiracies. Maybe just production things.
Wi-Fi's out again.
Him bringing out, I always say her last name wrong, so if I'm saying it wrong, sorry.
Nelly Furtado?
Oh, yeah, that shit was fire.
I always feel like I'm saying it like a breakfast food or something by accident.
Yeah, that's
Frittata?
That's a
There, thank
frittata. Yeah.
a frittata.
Well,
Furtado.
Nelly Furtado came out. I thought that was ill. I thought that was probably one of
That was one of the names that
cooler,
we did mention as far as like who would be coming out. I don't think none of us mentioned Nelly Furtado.
one of the cooler pop-ups at a concert I think I've ever
And
seen.
she still looks amazing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Looks great. Oh man, Rory, sometimes in life things happen, and
Well, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. That's interesting.
it's just that the fact that our guy Neo, man, he just put out an album,
Trying to celebrate.
and it's funny how maybe you see these things coming. Name of his album is self-explanatory.
Mhm.
Great records on there. One of my favorite projects so far this year. But now, this situation that has come to our phones in the last 48 hours, is this self-explanatory or not?
I think she went through his phone and he said, pretty self-explanatory.
Well, for those of you that do not know, Neo and his wife, Crystal, are now, well, she said that they're separated. They're no longer together. After 8 years of being together. So
damn,
she went to Twitter or she went to Instagram to update us on their marriage and their relationship. It says,
what's she saying, Will?
and this is Crystal Smith. She says 8 years. 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life, and husband with numerous of women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Neo, fuck. Damn. Every last one of them.
Was she saying every last one of them was unprotected?
Or did they sell it?
sell-
I don't know. We don't know. Crystal, listen, this is her dialogue. I don't know how what angle she's
Well,
writing
the expensive escorts, I feel like, is the unprotected ones. And they probably take
Right.
care of themselves because
Well, we would
it's
hope.
their
We
job.
hope that
Yeah.
everyone's taking care of themselves
Every last
if
one of
they're
them, yeah.
having unprotected sex.
Mm.
To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane.
Mm.
The mentality of a narcissist. I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. I choose me. I choose my happiness and health and my respect. I gained 3 beautiful children out of this, but nothing else but wasted years and heartache. I ask that you all please stop sending me videos or information of him cheating because what he does is no longer my concern. Who has the videos of Neo cheating?
Rory?
I'm sure a bunch of people.
Oh, God damn it. Put the cameras down.
Right.
Because what he does is no longer my concern. I am not a victim. I'm choosing to stand tall with my head held high. If someone can't love you the way you deserve, then it's up to you to love yourself. With no hate in my heart, I wish him nothing but the best. And may he die and rot in hell.
I was about to say, saying all that then with no hate in my heart,
Crystal-
I wish him nothing
Crystal,
but the
there
best.
was pure venom coming from these words.
Like, I was feeling her the whole way through. Like, yo, I
Yeah.
get it. That sucks. And
You
it sucks
don't
that you got to
wish-
say this publicly. You probably shouldn't have to, but then
You
just to
don't-
say, I wish him nothing but the best.
You
You're
don't
right.
wish Neo nothing but you wish him. You
results of
wish
it,
him
that was
You want those third
heartache
week album sales.
and pain. Yeah, you wish him a flop of an album.
Yeah. You were
and then-
happy you didn't see him in the writing credits of the Beyonce album.
Yeah, I mean,
Then his hat falls off.
And then Neo responded, correct?
Mhm.
By liking the post first of all.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah,
had
he
to
liked
be,
the post,
Which is
yeah.
funny, which I guess could fall under narcissistic
Yeah,
behavior.
that's definitely narcissistic behavior,
You
Neo.
let that shit off, though.
Neo says, for the sake of our children, my family and I will work through our challenges behind closed doors. Personal matters are not meant to be addressed and dissected in public forums. I simply ask that you please respect me and my family's privacy at this time, which is all in quotation marks.
Which is also hilarious that you're asking the internet after you put this business out there to please respect the privacy. No one is going to do that.
But you only want privacy when it's shit that you fucked up on.
Of course.
Like, yo, can y'all just respect my privacy at this time? Nah, fam. We want to know why you was in the club.
Personal matters are not meant to be addressed and discussed, right?
Yeah.
Right after this tweet, he posted a video of one of his records saying, "Don't love me." So, all right. So it was addressed in, your personal matters were addressed in your music.
Absolutely. Listen, Neo, it's fucked up. Neo's our guy. That's family. It's just fucked up that he has to deal with this and go through this.
What?
But I mean, if he's cheating, it's fucked up. He fucked up if he's cheating.
No, but you said it's fucked up that he has to go through this.
I mean, well, his shit is being played out in public, like his infidelities and all of that. It's like it's fucked up that he has to go through that. Yeah, if he cheated, he's wrong. He cheated. He's a married man. Yeah, he's wrong for that. I'm not saying he's not wrong, but it's fucked up that is being that like we all know about it. That's the fucked up part. Like, it's whack.
Should a cheater be outed? That's probably a better question.
I mean, I think you run that. You can't be mad if you're outed, if you're cheating. If you're a married man and you have kids and you're out here cheating and she decides to, and you're a public figure. So, I mean, and your wife decides to let everybody know you're a cheater, that's part of it. You got to deal with it.
Do you want my therapy response to that?
Yeah.
She probably feels she now has had no control in her 8 years that she was in a relationship. And now this statement is the first step in trying to take control and make a decision on her own.
How do you really
And
feel?
not only that, women would, because she's embarrassed and she's hurt, she's going to try to embarrass you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something now, it's her decision. And she probably feels like she hasn't had any decision-making abilities within their relationship because everything was one lie. So this is just a step. Even if it's wrong, I can't say I don't understand when people get super hurt. They feel like this is going to make them feel better. We know it won't.
Yeah.
But the mind of someone super hurt that's been lied to and they feel publicly embarrassed. Mind you, I have not paid attention to any of Neil's marriages or relationships or anything.
Same.
But who knows what her DMs look like? Maybe she feels like she was embarrassed publicly. I didn't even know.
Well, yeah, because she's saying people are sending her videos and stuff like that.
Cheating,
So,
which is kind of crazy.
which means that people are like, yo, you stupid for being with him. And this is who he's out with right now while you're at home and
That's so fucked up.
that shit, I mean, it's fucked up, but we know it happens. This isn't the first time that we've seen this. It's not going to be the last. It's just, again, it's unfortunate because like, damn, now you got to live with this shit. And it's just hard, man, because I trusted Neo with the fedoras.
It's a very trustworthy outfit.
Like when you put the fedora on, it's just so much trust that, you should walk and just carry with yourself.
I don't trust nobody wearing fedoras.
Yeah, you never know what's under that hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of tricks.
Now she's been independent.
But they've been on Neo's ass before with this whole thing because his last wife, it was a big thing. He told his last wife to get her tubes tied or burned or whatever, and then went because he didn't want any more kids. You can do that.
You can burn your tubes.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Like
Just basically, you can get your tubes tied
I'd
where
rather
they can be untied, or you can get them burned so that there's no fixing that. Like
Double
no
knot it. Don't burn them.
Yeah. Just
Ooh, that's so final.
tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
like
final.
final. So they
put like the sailor's knot.
allegedly
in that thing or
he
something.
told his wife to do that, or I think she came out and said that he told her to do that because he didn't want any more
square
kids.
knot.
And then he went and got remarried and had kids with his
monkey's
new
paw.
wife. Y'all.
Demaris, I promise you, none of us give a fuck about that shit you talking
Cut it out. I give up. I just fuck it.
Demaris got the whole breakdown on the former wife, the current wife.
Oh my God.
We don't give a Neo, you got caught cheating, goddammit.
Put those
And wifey put that shit out there. Yeah, Neo, I'ma laugh at you. I love you, but I'm gonna laugh. Nigga, you got caught.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Told Shorty to put her tubes in a bowling knot. Didn't work.
Yeah, didn't work. Didn't work. But yeah, it is what it is. Rest in peace, Bill Russell.
Legend.
One of the biggest, most iconic athletes of his time. Not just for, what he did athletically, everything he stood for, civil rights. Bill Russell was arguably the greatest champion ever. greatest winner ever. Bill Russell passes away at 88.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
88 years old. Long, healthy, productive. Even, you seen him at, I think last playoffs? He was at a couple games, I believe.
Yeah, he was he was very
He was definitely
looked
around.
like he was still moving and, still had his bearings with him and everything like that. So it was sad to hear about his passing over the weekend.
88,
Damn, I was trying to find
11 championships, 2 as player coach, All-American, Olympian.
got a Medal of Freedom.
Yeah, just
I don't think anyone's won as much as him in anything.
He just won. He won in the game of life, is what he did. Bill Russell is one of the biggest figures in sports, if not the biggest figure in sports history. So, rest in peace, Bill Russell. Prayers and condolences to his family. Prayers and condolences to Celtic Nation, the Celtic organization. He is the Celtics organization.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. But he lived a productive full 88 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
What a life.
yeah, man.
Rest in peace. I think that's good for today.
Tickets on sale.
They are on sale.
Our tickets are available for our live shows. We're hitting the road, coming to a few cities, coming to see a few of the people. I don't know if we're gonna be doing meet and greets. I'm gonna be honest. This monkeypox thing is ramping up.
Which we're gonna figure out. And obviously, if we don't end up doing the meet and greets, all will be sent. We'll send your money back.
Yeah, I'm just being honest
give you
with
a nod.
A lot of y'all are nasty. A lot of y'all don't wash your hands. A lot of y'all don't wash your ass.
Can you tell people where you guys are going to be?
Sunday, September 18th, we're at Thalia Hall in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
September 23rd, we're at Howard Theater, Washington, D.C. October 2nd, we're at the Underground in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then November 5th, we're going across the water. We're going to London.
It's the pond.
To the Earth Theater. November 13th, we'll be in Atlanta at Center Stage.
We changed that date because we are not competing with
the One Music Fest.
Miss Lauryn Hill, Jasmine Sullivan.
We're not.
Lil
Listen.
Baby.
Oh, that's why we changed.
Yeah.
We're not,
self-aware.
We're not gonna try to sell tickets when Lauryn Hill's in town. Like, who's doing that? November 19th, Dallas, Texas, Southside Music Hall.
Hey.
November 20th, Houston, Texas, Houston Improv.
Maul's gonna be improving that night.
Hey.
I'm really excited about the
With
Houston
women?
show. I'm really
I know you are.
excited.
I know. Shut up. December 9th, we're in Seattle, Washington, Neptune Theater. Demaris just want to shake ass. December 11th, Portland, Oregon, the Aladdin Theater. And December 18th, Boston, Massachusetts at the Wilbur.
And you guys know we have LA and New York shows coming. Do
Yes,
not
just
worry.
trying to
Stop
finalize the
asking
venue.
us, please.
For LA and New York. LA and New York will be on the added on the date as well.
I was at my local Rite Aid over the weekend purchasing some things and had my headphones in. And when you could tell someone's talking to you, and I'm checking out the guy, where's the New York show? It's like, yeah, we're working on it, bro.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Yeah, we're working on it. Where's the condoms?
Rory. All right.
Yeah, he doesn't use
I
those
wouldn't do
things.
that.
So yeah, get your tickets now. Available now at newroryinmall.com. Newroryinmall.com.
Hey, yo.
What you want me to do, man? This guy's immature. Listen, man, what are your plans for the week? I don't even give a fuck. I do whatever the fuck you do when
Go
I'm
on
not around,
Patreon,
man.
please.
Do whatever the fuck you do
go
when
on
I'm not around.
Patreon.
Is
We're
really
gonna be
funny.
seeing each other damn near every day this week. So.
Yeah. Shooting a lot of shit. Sign up to our Patreon if you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Another episode of PRL coming this week.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man.
And more.
And more.
And
In more.
listen, man. Are we done?
Yeah.
I'm sitting back chilling.
Are we done, Demaris? We hit everything?
Yes,
You
we-
satisfied?
Let's go. She's never satisfied.
She's never satisfied.
Yeah, I'm never satisfied, but it'll do. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Anyway, I'm that nigga. He's just Ginger. Y'all have a good week. Be safe. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.